strategies. We have assistant director of analytics and strategy. And then I've kind of listed out some of the top 3 initiatives that they'll be working on to get things started. So they'll be creating reporting and scorecards on the strategic initiatives, as I said, creating and maintaining the economic impact statement that highlights the university's impact on Ohio, in our region, and also directly here in Oxford. And then that person is also creating monthly reports and scorecards on our internal Office of Aspire progress as well. We have under partnerships, it's really divided into 2 areas: corporate relations committee and a community partners committee. The corporate relations project is developing 2 significant university-wide proposals that we can submit. We're going to be looking to increase the reach of those involved in university-wide proposals. We want to increase corporate funding and build out the presence with partnership with Corporate Relations Coordinating Committee, which will be the committee that will head all of this. On the community partner side, I've been working with Denise Brazil out of the College of Education, looking at all of our community engagements, at least all of them that we can identify institutionally, so that we can coordinate service, learning, and community engagement, manage professional ed, such as mini MBAs, tech cred, micro-credentials, coordinate alternative credentials, and I already talked about co-chair with the acting dean of the College of Education. And then we want to build out our presence with the community partners and through the Community Partners Committee. Now, it's important, I think, for me to explain to you all, as I do internally, that although these entities fall under Aspire, they're not reporting to us. We're not, telling them how to run their operation and things of that. We are a coordinating council. So we're looking to play the role of matchmaker, getting folks set up with external partners that can help them accomplish what they're trying to accomplish, as well as the same with our external partners, getting them matched up with folks internally that can help our external partners accomplish what they want to accomplish. We also play the role of traffic cop. So let's say that corporate and foundations wants to go to P&G and ask for $20 million. Athletics wants to go and ask P&G for, $500,000, and College of Education wants to ask for $2,000 in Over the Rhine project. Each an outstanding project, each worth its merit, but you can probably figure this out. We probably want to lead with the 20 million project first and see how we do with that, then the 500,000 after that, and then the 2,000 project. And again, that's not to say that the 2,000 project isn't a wonderful project. It's just to say that if Ryan Elias gets 20 million for P&G for his project, I am quite confident that he will more than happy come up with $2,000 to help the College of Education accomplish what they're trying to accomplish. And that same role with the community partners, again, one of a matchmaker, traffic cop, and also the repository. So we're asking folks and we're looking for mechanisms that we can use to make it easier on folks to let us know what they're doing, what they're seeking to accomplish, who their partners are, so that we have that in a database, and we also then can say, hey, here's another partner that we think would fit squarely with what you're trying to accomplish, and can we help facilitate you connecting with them. Then here under institutional relations, we have a director of federal relations, assistant director of state relations, and then of course the student government relations network that was already in existence. And there some of our short-term objectives are to double our state appropriations that come into the university and the greater community, I might add. Expand our Work Plus program so that it's a viable program on Oxford, and grow the visibility of our faculty in their areas of expertise, and continue the successful operation of the government relations network. Community projects wise, we're working with the city and others on securing the Amtrak stop, completing, in fact, they just held a meeting over at the John Dullaboy's Center or room in the Shriver Center, Butler County Regional Transit Authority, with interested parties on the Chestnut Fields Transportation Facility. That's the multimodal transportation facility that will go in where the old high school was. We're looking at, can we do a little more than the multimodal piece of it? School district has some needs, TOPS has some needs, the city has some needs. Can we, come together and find some funding sources so that we can do some pretty exciting things without the cost being on the back of any one institution. And then we also will be developing engagement plans for Oxford and our communities, again, where we live, work, and educate. And then economic development project, we're still in the process of raising the $10.7 million for the launch of College at Elm project. We're looking to expand relationships with Wright-Patterson Air Force Base and increase students, faculty, alumni, and business engaged in our IP poll strategy. So that's kind of an overview of Aspire and the org chart. Now I want to get into one project that I think you all will find of great interest. We have many that I know you'd find of great interest, but due to time constraints, I'm just going to run through this one, and then I'm going to open it up for questions. So hopefully you all have heard of the College at Elm Innovation and Workforce Development Center. We're looking to transform the building that's located at 20 South Elm Street. As most of you will know, that when it was built in 33 and then on, was used as the university's food service hub. And we're looking to transform that 39,000 square foot building into a hub of art, science, creativity, and innovation. Right now we have 3 anchor tenants: the university, the city of Oxford, and the Fisher Group. I'll talk about the Fisher Group in a moment. And we're really looking at providing a pilot program that we believe can be used in other rural counties across Ohio. And we did some research and found that the U.S. Department of Agriculture, a gentleman by the name of Richard Florida, did research on rural counties. And they found that rural counties that have a vibrant community arts aspect to their county, that their entrepreneurship, their patent, if they were engaged in that sort of thing, went from the teens up into the upper 40s percentiles. And if they had 2, it jumped up into the mid 80s. So we not only have the Oxford Community Arts Center, but we also have the great work that's going on campus through Dean Liz and the great work that she's doing. So we feel like the physical location of the Oxford Community Arts Center and then the beautiful natural park that's right behind it, and then boom, right across the street will be College at Elm. So we think that we can do some amazing things with bringing the tech side and the art side together. You all already know that on the 3rd floor of the Arts Center, economic entrepreneurship is already taking place with the different offices that are there: the architect's office, the sculptor's office, the painter's office, the photographer offices, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. So we've already got a good jump start on this, and now College at Elm will bring the technical side. So what does that mean? Well, for the local payroll and job impact, as you can see here in this graph, we're talking about a hair under $4 million of new payroll that will be coming in, and a total of 79 jobs being impacted. We also know that this will transform a 3-block area that right now is undeveloped from a business standpoint, that sits in the center of Oxford's existing business corridors. And our goal is to change that area into a high-tech innovation corridor. You all are familiar with the business corridors that exist already there in the yellow. The aqua would be the new Oxford Innovation Corridor, if you will. The red obviously is the university's main campus. So secret of success of this rural model will be every community doing an assessment of what assets it brings. The assets that we bring, the secret to our success, is the Fisher Group that I'm going to talk about in a moment, but it is an end-to-end ideas to market partner that will be engaged with us in this innovation hub. The intellectual horsepower of the university, and I love this part because a lot of people think that we're automatically talking about faculty, staff, and alumni, and we are, but we're really talking about the horsepower of the 20,000 undergraduate students that can bring new ideas and fresh perspectives into not only the Oxford, but the Southwest and Western Ohio entrepreneurial ecosystems. And when I talk about the ecosystem, this project, although physically located in Oxford, will be part of the Ready, Cincinnati, the Dayton Development Coalition, and Jobs Ohio. So we're a part of the larger entrepreneurial ecosystem that exists in Ohio and in Southwest Ohio and in Western Ohio, as well as here locally. You all are very familiar with our Entrepreneurship Institute and the success that it's had. It is an Ohio Center of Excellence. In fact, we have the only Ohio Center of Excellence in entrepreneurship in the state. We are the 2020 NASDAQ award winner. That puts us in some really stellar class with public and private entrepreneurship programs across the country. For 13 years, we've been ranked in the top 10 of public university entrepreneurship programs. And so College at Elm will build on that existing ecosystem of success that we have. And then I've already talked about the strong statistical association between arts, innovation, and economic dynamism in rural areas. Then one of the last key pieces, there's many others, but these are the significant ones I'm going through now, is our idle intellectual property pull strategy. So as most of you know, in higher education, the traditional way of IP development is faculty, PhD students will invent something, create something, patent it, and then go out into the private sector and see if they can find, as we like to say, a solution, a question to the solution that they've found the answer to. And there's nothing wrong with that way. Miami University will continue to engage in that. You see that a lot more at the R1 institutions, a lot more activity, a lot more success, although we have activity and we do have success in doing that. But with the IP pull strategy, it's almost the opposite concept. And that is, rather than internally develop the IP, we're going out and seeking idle IP from folks that have it sitting on the shelf. So one of the places that we've done that is with Wright-Patterson Air Force Base through the Wright Brothers Institute. We approached them and asked them if we could work with their idle IP. They said yes. So we received 1,000 patents to evaluate. Students and faculty teams evaluated that, prioritized them from a commercialization standpoint, came up with 30 that was low-hanging fruit. 10 of those 30 ended up going into classes for further development. From that development, 3 came out with extensive senior design, deep dives, and 1 has continued through the process, and we are having a private company out of Dayton actually manufacture the prototypes for us. The Wright Brothers Institute has been very excited about the success of this, and they are looking now to add us into part of what they present when they go after other DOD and other places for business. So they believe that that's going to be a positive, and that's what they're going to do. So this pull strategy, again, is not unique to Miami. If you have college students and faculty that are willing to be engaged, involved, and an internet connection, anyone can play. So whether you're rural, whether you're urban, whether you're suburban, we think this is a model and a wave of the future. These are just some of the select university partners. By no means are these all of them, but these are some of the major ones from an economic development standpoint that College at Elm will either hit directly or the ripple effects will reach out to them. And then I'm just quickly going to run through anchor tenants and what we'll be doing. So Miami will be managing the facility, 25 high quality jobs, infusion of $1,756,000 into the Oxford and Southwest Ohio economy. We did research and university incubators, accelerators, research areas, whatever language you'd like to call it. We're calling it an innovation hub because we're going to do a little bit of everything. But generally speaking, they average 3 spinoff companies a year. Last year alone, we had 152 students that launched 35 startup companies. So we're pretty confident in the 3 spinoffs a year. But what we'd like to do is we'd like, of those 35 that started up, we'd like to really focus on maintaining at least 3 of them in this area for them to further develop and if you will, sprout roots here in Oxford. We're confident that we'll be able to attract external investment and provide other opportunities for our recent grads to launch startup companies here in Southwest Ohio. And we're obviously going to leverage the university's assets investments. We've got a $96 million investment going on right now in the clinical health science and wellness building. The majors, the masters, the doctoral programs, all of those activity that's going on there, we're hoping to leverage from an external private sector at the College at Elm. And then obviously we've got the $50 million McVeigh Data Science Center building that's going to be going on. Now let me talk to you a little about the Fisher Group. The Fisher Group, TFG as we like to call it, is an end-to-end consumer goods company. So idea, design, prototype, all the way to store shelf, and then ROI. As you all know, President Crawford has a long vita and history in this area of work at Palo Alto when he first got out of college, then with Brown, and before coming to Miami, most recently with Notre Dame. In fact, I think you all know he was assigned to go out to Silicon Valley and open Notre Dame's Silicon Valley campus. He has never seen a innovation hub that has idea to store shelf in one location. You've always had to either go out and get things prototyped, or go out and get market analysis help, go out and get consumer testing, go out and get manufacturing or store shelf. This will be the only place that he's aware of where all of that will be in one place. And so we are just really excited about that. Fisher Group currently has 300 employees in 2 locations in Butler County. This will be an add-on to that. They'll be creating an innovation hub, an innovation expansion, if you will, at College at Elm. Their workload include all the things we've talked about, and some of the folks that they've worked with, you've heard of in Fortune 500 companies, P&G, Hill-Rom, Shark Ninja. If you are still of the ilk that watches commercials, I am of that ilk. Students look at me crazy when I'd say, hey, have you seen the commercial for the Ninja shop vac where it shoots out the water and then you collect it up and it's also vacuums it up? Well, the paper pad piece of that product, if you've seen it, that is at TFG. They're the ones that are doing that, and they're the lead on that whole Shark Ninja that you see on TV, if you are of the great group that still watches commercials on television. Here is an example of TFG's machines and the sort of things that they'll be bringing out. These are aluminum. Al Fisher, who is the president, CEO, and founder of the Fisher Group, former P&G employee, graduate of Purdue Engineering, and they told him that he could not use aluminum to create this sort of manufacturing line. Well, he, as many other things, if you ever get a chance to meet him, you'll find out he once again proved them wrong, whoever the them is, he proved them wrong. And this is a machine that they put up and put together when all the PPE crisis hit. And so this machine produces masks. Within 3 months, they started up a new company called Heartland Health. Heartland Health is a distributive manufacturing company where they will have, I think it's 36 of these machines placed across the United States strategically so that the production that the machine produces can be shipped out within 24 hours to those that need the PPE. So we are really excited with working with them. And I won't go through all of these bullets because I've kind of talked about them already. The city of Oxford is the 3rd current anchor tenant, and they're going to support the College at Elm with 1 job. That'll be a retained job. They're also helping us with the sewer and fiber, and they're going to be operating a business startup center in partnership with the other tenants. Here's the impact that we believe that College at Elm will have here in the local community. we are really looking collectively to transform our economy from an 8-month economy to a 12-month economy, really looking to diversify the types of businesses that are here in Oxford. Again, we believe that College at Elm will be able to serve as a rural model for infusing how you infuse students, undergrad students, into the local entrepreneurial ecosystem. And then we will be looking to garner additional economic development support, recruit new businesses by leveraging Miami's expertise in the areas that are listed. Here, as you all know, Miami's entered into a partnership with CVG. So we will have a aeronautics and airport innovation hub out at the airport, and we'll be working closely with them to see what we can come up with. We've already talked about the Amtrak and BCRTA and the possibility for that, maybe having some economic development uses out there as well, if we can kind of move some things around that currently exist out there. Healthcare Hall, I've talked about, the Data Analytics Center. We're looking at investigating a hotel down close to Millette, and then working with the city and the owner of the old Follett site to see if we can't get that moving. And then of course, Rodbro is already in process where the old BP gas station was for a mixed use facility there. So with that, I will open it up and be more than happy to answer any questions that you all as my fellow Rotarians might have for me.
Yeah, Randy, this is Lee. Is most of this effort in the initial phases being funded by venture guys? Where's all this money to come? For instance, are those 25 Miami jobs, are those new jobs, or those current Miami employees? Where's the money coming from?
Those are a combination of new jobs and the 3 spinoffs per year. So, you know, we conservatively went with 5 employees in those spinoffs for 3. So that's 15, and that's a 5-year build out. Those numbers are for a 5-year build out. The funding right now is we're looking for 10.7 to renovate the building. We've received $1 million in the state capital budget, and we have an ask out right now before Jobs Ohio for a $2 million ask. That will be, if we get to $2 million, we will have hit a home run, because as they were going out and explaining the program, they were saying they didn't think they were going to give out more than $1 million, but we're pressing them hard because we think this program is an excellent program. Again, not only because of what it will do for Miami, Oxford, Southwest, and Western Ohio, but because we believe that when done, that this model can be replicated in other rural counties and communities across the state where there's an institution of higher education and a willing local government.
And maybe I missed this. Is this a 5-year? Were we looking at a 5-year plan here, basically, or?
Well, we're looking at having the building renovated within 18 months. Once we receive word, and I'm going to claim it, right, from Jobs Ohio, we are planning to move right away into the renovation stages of the building. Now, as you all know, that doesn't mean we're starting and, you know, there are going to be hammers in the building renovating. You know, there's got to be a design phase, and you know, what are all the needs? What are the Fisher Group needs? What are the city's needs? What are Oxford's or the university's needs, and things of that nature? But we expect to be able to have all of that done and the renovations completed within an 18-month time frame, hopefully sooner than that. We've already begun with the Fisher Group on the student engagement piece of it. They were just here. Gosh, all the days are starting to run together. I guess it was yesterday. No, Monday. They were just here on Monday and did a tour of the building with Tom Horr's entrepreneurship class. And that class is looking at, in addition to, from an academic standpoint of getting students and faculty engaged in College at Elm, how might we have some standalone student groups to encourage even greater student engagement and things of that nature. So the activities that are going to go on in the building, those activities are starting up now. before the renovations are even done. And that's the process that we're in right now. Good question, though, Lee.
Yeah, thanks.
Randy, can I just follow on Lee's question?
Please, Warren.
The program you describe is very ambitious and so forth and interesting in many ways. But at this stage, how many new positions are involved in this program? Or is it just I don't mean just, but is it a reconfiguration of people and the positions that they represent that we already have? How many new?
It's a little of both, right?
How many new positions?
So for when you Aspire is new, and we have 3 new positions that we brought on, and then 2 repurposed positions, right? The challenge that we have as an institution is that, as you know, Warren, most everything we do is vertical, and they're silos, and they're good silos. Aspire is a horizontal. So we report directly to the president. So we work with the College of Engineering, the College of Arts and Science. Well, we work with all the colleges and the School of Business. And we then also work with external. We have people in the verticals that work with external partners, but we don't have any horizontal collaboration and I don't want to say oversight, but knowing what's going on. So the example that I like to give is, and this is quote unquote a hypothetical, based in reality. A rather high up person from the university with someone from corporate and foundations was with a Fortune 500 company making an ask. And the person they were making the ask to says, "Oh yeah, it's great to see you. You know, such and such was just here on Monday asking for such and such for such and such." And the high ups and the people in corporate have no idea what the person's talking about. That's not a good thing, Warren. That's not a good thing at all. So Aspire, our job is so that doesn't happen. It doesn't mean that the folks that went in on Monday can't go, but the folks that are going on Wednesday need to know who went in on Wednesday, what did they ask for, what were they trying to do, and what was going on. And we as an institution have to coordinate those outreach efforts more. So to get back to your point.
Coordinating and stimulating in new ways.
Exactly.
But not necessarily adding at this stage additional talent.
That is correct. And with the growth, the idea is as the revenues come in, right? Because this is meant to be a revenue generator, not an expense drainer on the university. Then we will, in that 5-year build out, we will add more people, right? And that's the same thing with the Fisher Group, right? So they'll start off with 1 line, and then over 5 years, they hope to have 3 lines of 3 different shifts. And then that's how we get to the numbers. So you know, we'll start off
manufacturing that.
Yeah, so they'll be prototyping. So that, like for example, it'll be a transdisciplinary from a student and faculty engagement, from engineering to architecture to what do we call it? UPS, logistics. All of those things will be involved. To fulfillment, the whole bit. The wonderful thing about the Fisher Group is they are a horizontal organization. So if you're involved in designing those machines that I showed you for the prototype, you also understand what goes on in sales and fulfillment because they're just that way. They absolutely love our students, and they love our students because our students haven't been out yet in the world and they're not in boxes. And so things that I might think, well, you can't do that, they don't think that way. And Fisher Group has really created a culture where they, what's the right term I want to use? Where they value that and they promote it and they capture it in their ecosystem. And so we're very, very excited about them. Students will be able to come in, anyone in the community that has an idea that they'd like help on, will be able to come in. You know, we hope to have more established companies that want to either come in and be located at College at Elm. I like to say, this is just my opinion, I'm trying to sell other people on it. College at Elm is building 1. right? And then there needs to be building 2 and building 3, and building 2 and 3 need to be more business apartment style. Bob Keller probably can tell me the right term to use, where, you know, like an apartment that has shared space. So a startup business can't afford to get their own wet lab. They can't afford to get their own clean lab. They can't afford to get their own benches. But if 5 or 6 of them come together in an apartment style housing for that and share that space, that reduces the cost for everyone, brings in, diversifies our business setting here in Oxford, and provides excellent opportunities for hopefully students and faculty. And it's a win-win-win for everyone. So to me, that's buildings 2 and 3.
These new buildings will be to the south, that is to say, toward the Spring Street side of the existing structures at College and Elm.
I think there would be some value to proximity, but you know, I like to remind people that one of the nice things about Oxford is, you know, you can be on the Pike, and you know, you're not that far away from College at Elm. So I'm not saying it has to be restricted to the innovation corridor. I personally like that concept, but you know, wherever people want to go, we want to help them. We want them to be here, you know, close. I know at one point in time, we were working with, oh gosh, Bob, what's his name, up on 73, the Daylily Farm, Todd Holcomb, not Holcomb. What's Todd's last name? Somebody help me. You guys know Todd.
Doc.
Anyway, we were working up there on potentially putting something up there. I don't know what the plans are for that area. I haven't done an analysis of the township and the city and what's available, but you know, hopefully, you know, we can stimulate some economic development, and if that's where the folks moving in want to move to, then that would be great.
Randy, I've been really concerned in the last few years that Oxford is not really a destination anymore. I'm not sure football draws that many people, but we used to have in Millett Hall the Cincinnati Symphony Orchestra, Yo-Yo Ma, Bob Dylan, and I would really like to see more. I know what you're doing is STEM and technology and entrepreneurship and so on, but I'm wondering if the university wouldn't be interested in trying to get more, well, big name acts back into Millett Hall, maybe improve the acoustics to some extent, and make Oxford a destination center, which might help the restaurant scene, might help the coffee scene. You never know. So
no, Bob, you're direct on it, and please, if I left you all with the impression that College at Elm is STEM, let me stop and rewind. We are STEAM. The whole concept of this is that the Oxford Community Arts Center got the ball rolling, right? And we're looking to, as they know, partner and leverage the good work that they've done. And so what was found was when you bring the creatives and the technos together, you produce much better than if you just have them separated. And so you know, it's not happenstance that the site selected was behind the Oxford Community Arts Center. So you're absolutely right, Bob. We're looking at a build out that is not just on the tech side, but you know, what's the saying, you know, a rising tide raises all boats. But if I left you all with the concept that this is technology only, please, that is not what we're saying. This is the arts are right there. We are locked arm in arm as we're proceeding through this. So I see Heidi's here. I don't know, Heidi, if you want to say anything with that as well.
You are speaking to my heart, so and to my brain. So I want to say thank you for making that clarification that it is a STEAM effort, and that the arts are as vibrant and, you know, enriching to the mind of your students. And, you know, arts bring inspiration and they bring innovation and creativity to your students, and that's how they are going to create the great things that they're going to do, is when they have a chance to experience the arts in all the ways that we can do it here at the Oxford Community Arts Center. So thank you for that. I think that's extremely important to note, that this is absolutely a partnership And this building is going to be a big part of your technology hub because of what we can offer.
And I think another part of that too, Bob and Heidi, just to reinforce Bob's question and what Heidi said, is that, you know, we really are building off of the successes of the city, the university, Rotary, Kiwanis, Lions Club. How do we come together, the school district, the township, how do we come together as a community, leverage our assets so that we all win, right? So that we're bringing into our community those things that are going to complement and make it a better community and keep us moving, right? And so while COVID has been horrible, obviously, it has shone, I'm not sure the tense of that, the light on the fact that you don't, in certain jobs, you don't have to be physically, you know, there to be able to do that job. And we think that there's an audience out there that will love a college community that is based on health and wellness, all the activities that they can get, you know, be engaged with, you know, having the worst traffic jam, you know, being down at McGuffey, you know, and the Nellie Craig building, and having a 4-car backup at the 4-way stop. That's pretty good, you know, right? So Amtrak stop coming in, BCRTA transportation, if you want to get to Middletown, Hamilton, or even Cincinnati, you know, how do we have these amenities? We've got if you all have not been on the walking path for Oxford, I encourage you to get out there, right? So I'll be honest, we did all this work and stuff, and I was for it and all that, and I was like, yeah, walking path. I got on that thing. That's a game changer. I mean, that thing is awesome. So, you know, we have these assets that are here. And as Bob said, we've got to figure out how we become a destination point, whether it's for, you know, the bedroom community, folks that are working in other areas, whether it's, you know, people coming in on the weekend through Amtrak or other things like that. Because as you all know, first and foremost, our story is excellent. And when people get here, they're going to love it. They're going to have a great experience, right? We just have to get more of them here. And that's what College at Elm hopefully will continue on the work. It's not the beginning, because that was done long ago. It's the next stage in what we've been doing as a community moving forward. So,
Randy, quick question for you. Any new developments on what CVG is planning for the airport?
you know, it's an interesting dynamic, because we're excited and they're excited, and it's one of those things where everyone knows that there's something there, and we're trying to figure out what that something is, right? We're trying to nail that down. We're looking at a number of different things that all around aviation, aeronautics, airports, but no, we haven't at least to my knowledge, we haven't settled in on one specific area or one specific thing. We want them to come in, and they want to come in. You know, they're gonna do the daily operation of the airport. You know, and so that's really good from a safety perspective, and otherwise that's a really good thing. And then as they've done that and they've picked up kind of what happens and what goes on, we think then that will, plus what they're doing and what they're doing with Amazon and all that, we think that those will be naturals. Now, what I should, and I think you all know this, we're not talking about, you know, Amazon flying in or anything like that. That's not the point of this innovation hub. This innovation hub is more along the lines of the College at Elm sort of thing, to, you know, thinking and prototyping and things of that nature. So,
hey, Randy.
Yes.
Yeah, this is Nathan Simmons. Sorry, you can't really see me there, but has there been any work with, you know, maybe Spooky Nook in Hamilton, and seeing if that, you know, some of the hotels and the restaurants and stuff that can help support that, especially during the summer months when they're going to be very, very busy?
Yes. We have been looking at that, and the city has been looking at. Jessica Green has looked at that a whole lot. And we think that there's capacity, but maybe not as much as you'd think. We think that well, I won't say we, I think that where we'll pick up are folks that either are transporting future college-aged students and will see it as I'm already there, so why not stay in Oxford
right now.
And
Cool.
visit Miami University,
Cool,
and you know, and it's a short drive down there to those things.
There's one.
A lot of the time frame, as you all know, that our hotels though are during the school year are all booked up, and so you know, maybe in the summer there might be some, but as I understand, there on the weekends, our occupancy rates even in the summer are very, very solid. So during the summer, if there are things that are during the week, I think we could see some spillover. But other than that, I'm not so sure. But we're talking with them. We met with the folks at Spooky Nook and some other folks and things of that nature. We continue, and Josh, their city manager, is a good friend and colleague, and so we stay in regular contact with them. Good question, though.
Any more questions for Randy? I think we've gotten a lot of mileage out of Randy in this talk. A terrific amount going on, and it's so great to hear about all this energy and so on, and massive plans. And boy, would I be happy to see a 12-month economy in Oxford. That would make my life in a way. Are there any other questions for Randy?
Yeah, I want to know what you've been doing in all your spare time, Randy.
Yeah. Don't you need a
like
hobby?
you're still doing a great job. Good work. Sorry, I couldn't
Thanks,
help you
Bob.
out with any of your questions about names, but that's been 10, 15 years ago now, you know?
No worries. No worries. I understand. So
So Randy, a personal one, what's Maurice doing?
Maurice, I like to stayed in the Miami family. He is in the Cintas management program right now.
Good for him.
Yeah.
Good for
Yeah.
him.
So thanks for asking, Lee.
Cool.
And thanks for having me come in and speak, Lee. I appreciate the invite.
Yeah,
Well-
anytime. And like I said in one of my emails, when your time broadens a little bit, we'd welcome you back as an active member anytime.
I'd love that. I'd love that.
Yeah. And thank you so much for your presentation. We really appreciate this, and it's wonderful to hear about all that's going on. And Randy, we will put a book in Lane Public Library for you. I was thinking of Lady Chatterley's Lover, but maybe that's not appropriate. We'll find something else in your name. You know the drill anyway.
Make sure it's something, Bob, around the arts, right? To re-emphasize,
Sure,
right? Okay.
sure. Entrepreneurship for kids, I think we'll try for. Yeah. Okay. So Randy, you're obviously perfectly welcome to stay in this meeting. It's not going to go on too much longer, or just leave us at this point, your choice. But again, we very much appreciate your appearing and speaking to us about all this. It's wonderful. So
Bob, I'm gonna stick around, but I'm gonna turn off my camera because I thought this was a lunch meeting, so I brought my lunch.
yeah, it's interesting to watch people eat during Zoom meetings. It's disconcerting in a way, but yeah, whatever you want to do, that's just fine. Okay,